2000 trees. We go again! Yes! That's me done. Fuck it. Oh man, this is a lot of folk. James said if there was too many people here to remind you that Nobro and Static Dress are playing if you want, like, fuck off. It's a health and safety issue. So, I am Gavin McInally of Damnation Festival. This is my co-host, your host, James Scarlett of 2000 Trees and Art Tangent. How's it been so far, pal?
Yeah, good, I think. It's been a pretty mad week we've had. I feel like this is like, I've done these on stage, I'm just gonna, because we do honesty, right?
Yeah.
So we've done these on stage things loads of times, but I've never done it where it's my podcast and it's way more scary. So.
We were backstage there trying to fist bump each other. He's got to give me a fucking pep talk, you know?
I was talking to myself, but pretending it was to you.
Just out loud. So I showed up 2 days ago, and I am not kidding you, it could not be more different from what you see before you. It was pure misery. The first face I saw was one of the organisers, Mark. He seemed no, he didn't. He was miserable as fuck. And then James's infamous brother, Rob, and I was like, by the time I got to the top of the hill and saw James, like, why am I here? I was last here in 2012, and it was the worst weather ever. And I'm back, and here I am back, ruining everybody's weekend. But it turns out, it's the weather's been fucking great, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, we've had a really quite hard time the last week. Like, festivals after like 17 years, it's like really easy to set up in the dry weather and really hard to set up in the wet weather. Yeah. And we have had a right week of like pain.
So I show up and James he's most excited about me. He's excited about showing me the shit bits of his festival. He drove me in a wee tractor. He goes, look at the state of this. And he drove me a car park. He goes, look at the fucking state of this. Hey, I'm going home.
The thing is, because we've done quite a good job of keeping the bits that you're in now not muddy, but everything behind the fence is like trenches of mud, basically. You can't see it, but yeah, it was pretty hard.
Tell the people how bad it got, like the ambulances.
So on days of the week, Monday, the first aid team arrived, and Simon, one of the organisers, called me down to be like, we need to look at this. And basically the first aid team were like, we can't get ambulances onto the site. The whole thing's fucked. It's not going to happen. And it was, I mean, the mud is like, it's like this deep. Like, it's deep. And it's pretty stressful when you get a radio call about the first aid team are going to go home. It's not a very nice feeling.
I've been part of James's emotional roller coaster for this past couple of days. I see him at night and he's having the best time of his life. And then, like this morning, I just said, "Are we cancelling it? We'll just not do the podcast there, James." Like, please, let's just cancel it. I'm having the worst time. And why were you having the worst time, James?
So this morning, I turned my radio off at night so I can sleep. And this morning, I got a phone call from Mitch, and he was basically like, "Do you know what's going on?" I'm like, "No." It's like 7:30 in the morning. And so Gaslight Anthem arrived at 6:30, and we have quite a tight schedule. So they have to come in, load onto the stage, lighting and amps and all the other shit that goes with the band, sound check, and get off in time for the bands to start. And basically, you've talked about bus drivers before and what a bunch of dicks they are. And like,
sorry, bus drivers.
So lorry drivers are essentially the same. Let's hope he's not just hanging out at the back there. But so he refused to come in to the festival at all. Wouldn't drive in. He took one look at the sort of little bits of mud at the top and refused to come in. So the team. If any of you are here that did that this morning, you're amazing. I love you because. Yeah, Kev did it all. Shout out to Kevin, Tom. Oh, fucking, they're all putting their hands up now. Ollie and Rich and Neil. And basically, they while I was in bed, they cross-loaded from a massive truck into a different vehicle and drove it to the main stage, and it was all a bit stressful.
Just so you can see Gaslight fucking Anthem. I'd have let them cancel. Fuck's sake, man. Anyway, enough of James's shite bookings, okay?
Cradle of Filth. That's Sarah, everyone. Sarah. Yes.
The real hero. Right, aye, okay, so you do make some good bookings as well. And yesterday, I knew no one yesterday, so I was just coming with like a fresh set of eyes just to enjoy it. And Exit Child, Dead Pony, that set last night, Cody Frost with the silent band. Oh, excellent. All fucking excellent. So tell me a bit about the. You were a wee bit nervous with the silent band thing, because it's a difficult thing to pull off. But for 10 minutes, I was just transfixed, because it's like she's like LaRue, but playing with Chasing Status. It's like it's fucking all over the place, and it was amazing.
Yeah, I thought it went well. I mean, I'm like, the silent band thing works definitely. It's different though, right?
Does it work?
No one was going to say no to
they
that.
They decide. They're like, boo!
But yeah, it was good. I mean, I thought Dead Pony were probably my favourite band yesterday. I thought they were great.
Glasgow band. Also, I forgot to apologise. I'm Scottish, so for the folk that are just listening to one half of this podcast.
The single best thing that happened to me yesterday is that Gav was with me when England scored their second goal, and he was very, very good about it. As I was giving him a light pat on the back.
Not only that, I had the decency not to celebrate the Dutch goal, right? But they fuckers all celebrated England goal, and then he punched me twice. I know he looks like a big guy, but I fancy my chances, right?
Mate, I would back you 100%. Fucking hell.
But 2 fucking jabs. Like, I said, it's bad enough I'm watching this shite. No, I need to go and buy a Spain top. So it was that worked out quite well. That worked out well for you guys, but it was good.
Can we just talk about the chairs we're sitting on for a second? Because on a podcast previously, I've spoken about the deck chairs that we had in here, and they were really awkward to sit on, and I was really pissed off that I was on this stage in deck chairs. And these are who Dan, is it you? Dan, did you get these chairs?
So you've only got the whole sort of pedo lie back, all this sort of on your arse like that. It's a wee bit uncomfortable.
If we look awkward, it's the chairs.
And we're awkward. So that was last night. Today, so far, Spanish love songs and the Forest. The Forest lives up to its promise. I mean, that is a fucking great place to watch some bands. And we went to see Meryl Streep. Fucking abs. They say we always talk about never meet your idols. Yeah. I met Meryl Streep, right? I was walking in and he just came out the loo, the toilet. That wasn't the start of the sponsor. And he walked in and he says, and he saw me and I was like, I don't know if you'd know me, but he's quite a fucking, he's got the glasses and that one. And he says, I love your energy, pal. I love your energy, pal. I was like, yes, meet your heroes. So I think he's a guest for is it the Marking Me podcast? He's a guest for someone else. So if you can get a chance to check out, he's a top bloke.
He was great. And so we talked a bunch on the podcast about how we're basically still like 19-year-old excited young people in an older person's body meeting our heroes. And while we were watching Meryl Streep, or just before Meryl Streep started, Lags from Gallows, so he's a songwriter and guitarist in Gallows, who are like massive heroes of mine. We've never met. They played at 2000trees a long time ago. And he came up to me and he's like, your podcast's amazing. I listen to it every week. And I'm like, didn't we talk about Gallows on the podcast? He's like, yeah, you were talking about 2012 and how it was muddy. And he's like, is Gav here? And I'm like, this is like, it's weird. And then we were chatting to Lags and some people came over and recognised you and recognised me and not like the rock star. It was like, yes, it's so good. This is amazing.
To put me firmly back in my box, I walked past a conversation last night and somebody was saying, do you know the podcast? Do you know the podcast? Because that's the other guy. Fucking demoted to James's other guy. And also...
Let's get a T-shirt with that on it, mate.
Where is Lou's Bruce? Where is he? There. I swear to God, we were sitting outside this tent last night and somebody goes, You're Gav for the podcast. I'm like, yeah, I also run a festival. And he goes, all right. He goes, oh, nice to meet you. And I goes, oh, by the way, this is Lou's Bruce. I went, fucking hell, Lou's Bruce. And I was like, hey, calm down, we've made the sponsor fucking famous, man. Autographs afterwards. So, yes, that's been today so far. And who are we looking forward to tonight?
I mean, it's Manchester Orchestra, right? I mean, so Spanish love songs, Manchester Orchestra. That's my. Yeah, and Toby told me to tell you to watch Every Hell on Saturday.
Every Hell.
But yeah, Manchester Orchestra is like a long-term. We need them at 2000trees band.
That is one of those ones, because that was a difficult one. You used to say, like, it's just difficult to get the schedule lined up for them, and they're probably quite expensive for a band that until now haven't sold a shitload of tickets. So it's like one of the ones, do you just shell out sometimes because it's worth the booking?
Yeah, they're a band that if you're a fan of them, you're like a super fan. You're not like a casual fan of Manchester Orchestra. You are fully in. So yeah, I think it's going to be fucking amazing. So.
It's going to be fantastic. Yeah. And joking aside, I don't actually know anything about the Gaslight Anthem. I was just shitting them because it was funny. So I mean, I take it they're good too.
They're like on the they're on the top 10 hit list. Well, every year you write down the
new page, the first page.
Biffy Clyro, and yeah, Gaslight have always been on that.
Right.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
Are they good? Come on, Gaslight. No, really. Okay. Also, talking about heroes, is James's dad here? Not to say that James's mum isn't a hero, but she's not going to roll about in the mud for selfies, okay? Oh, sorry. Look,
He's looking pretty clean. He's looking pretty clean. He doesn't look that happy, though.
So, aye. Where were we? James's dad. Selfies outside afterwards. He will roll about in the mud for £10. And fucking bad religion. Do you know how drunk...
He's got his Bad Religion T-shirt on, mate.
Do you know how drunk James's dad and his pal, who I called Tommy in the podcast, and it's Barber, all right? Fuck's sake, let it out. Barber! He's so drunk, he thought the story was about him. So he just followed me this weekend going, bad religion. I'm like, wasn't it you? It wasn't you. But I see the T-shirt, mate. I appreciate that. Oh, you've dropped. There you go. Boo. Gunjum. So, where were we? Machine Head.
Let's go.
Right. So, come on. The two albums, right? We're taking Burn My Eyes out of it. The Blackening, if it's your favourite album.
Wait a minute, hang on. You're asking this question at 2000trees, mate. It's
so
not,
it's like
it's basically like...
Third option, don't give a shit. Okay. But that was actually my answer the first time until James gave me a fucking lecture in front of 10,000 people about how I should love... Was it The Blackening? Aye. That is
the one. Is that the one? Yeah.
Through the Ashes Empires? Yeah. Big man's got it there. Us three. Martin? Yes, mate. I got your back. So what's for the rest of the weekend then? After tonight? I'm away. Unfortunately, I need to go to Mexico. So what's next after tonight?
Well, I get fractionally earlier nights when you've gone, I think.
That's not...
And, I mean, I'm super excited for Bob Villan. Don Broco never been here before. That'll be cool. I mean, I know it's a really boring answer, but I love seeing Frank Turner at 2000trees. I'm like, I just love the old Frank Turner stuff for me at 2000trees is just like, it's so good.
Has there been much happening yet in these camps that you see that Rob put so much effort into?
Yeah, we'll go there tonight. There'll be stuff tonight, midnight.
Because this is actually the first day, isn't it?
Yeah.
I feel like I've been here for weeks. I'm a wee bit broken, but yes, we will go and see that. Who else over? Anyone else recommend a band? Grandson.
Yeah, grandson are playing twice. The grandson in the forest would be amazing. Unpeople, yeah.
Hey, all right. Ah,
Right. So earlier on, I was walking through the cave, and there was some really serious-looking people. You know, we have these like king poles holding up the tent, and we wrap them. Is Ross here? Ross wrapped the king poles. What a legend! But basically, a Better Lovers tour manager was going around poking the black bits because, we all know why, right? Because basically Greg from the Dillinger Escape Plan is the lead singer in Better Lovers, and he likes to climb. And it made my it didn't make me feel good. It made me feel a bit scared because they're actually walking around the tent like scoping out climbing places. It's like we can climb here. We'll take this off. We'll climb that bit. So yeah, so that'll be wild later.
It will be wild. That's tonight. Is that the same time as Gaslight Anthem?
Fuck off, Gav.
No, I'm not. I'm just asking. You know what we'll be.
It was a bad clash. It was a mistake.
Aye. Some people would say it's not a clash at all. So what do we talk about? What do we talk about? Tills. Oh, we need to do Polyphia first. I mean, come on. Who saw Polyphia the year that James never booked him? That's an art tangent.
That is a niche joke, isn't it?
I know, it's like,
even if you listen to the podcast, it's like, what?
And the towels. We need to talk about towels. These beautiful. Expensive as fuck, actually. I mean, even just to get made, £11. Oh, they're good though. Good quality. No, yours is free, mate. You enjoy it. So, have you been filled in? What's the towel count for this year?
Well, I don't think anyone's beaten Eagles of Death Metal's 50 towels, but we're yeah. It's all anyone asks us about, right?
That is all.
We just did our first ever. We were interviewed by someone else, weren't we? And they basically just wanted to talk to us about towels, I think.
Yeah. I was asked to do an interview yesterday, and I wasn't told what it was about. And he said, "Can you introduce yourself?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm Gavin McInally, Damnation Festival." And he went, no, the podcast. I was like, "Oh, for fuck's sake!" Hi, I'm Gavin McInally, the other guy for the podcast. So that was a weird start. That was a weird start to that one too. And what about riders this year? Anything untoward?
No, I think that everyone's a bit
Calm down a
bit
bit.
punk and calm. Yeah.
What,
In terms of technical riders, so I don't know if I should tell you or not, but Don Broco are they got some fireworks and stuff, and we've had all the we've had some serious health and safety conversations about the fireworks. Have I just ruined that? Should I have kept that to myself?
It's like half this podcast is James going, "I shouldn't really say this, but."
This is what makes me nervous about live, because there's no editing, is there?
No.
But yeah, so yeah, Don Broco fireworks.
Don Broco with the fireworks. Okay. And we now hand this over to you. Who has questions? Let's see some hands. Right, okay, but about 10 minutes worth. That's going to be tough. Let's start with yourself. Oh. In fact, can you pass that around? And I'll take this one, sorry, Dad.
I know it's an absolutely huge fucking ask, but is there any chance you can book Seeing Queen for next year? Maybe as a headliner on the Axiom or the Cave? I'd love to see it here. She's, bimbo core really suits for 2000trees vibe. Maybe not heavy enough for Damnation, but defo for trees, yeah. Thank you.
You said my accent was fucking rough. Wait, I had to tune in there. I was like... I think she said something about Scene Queen.
Yeah, I've actually spoken to Scene Queen's agent a bunch of times about them playing trees. So yeah, let's do it. I think that is a really good shout.
But did you say to headline? Is Scene Queen that? Oh, right, is that what you said?
Oh, you're asking me which? I think it works better in the Axiom, right? I always try and put the heavy stuff in the Cave. So yeah. Scene Queen, Axiom next year, that is now confirmed.
Let's keep this up. Any favourite bands that want confirmed?
Hello, boys, all right? So what advice would you give to a small-time promoter like myself for growing a festival? So for context, I have a 150 cap festival down the south called Southwest Hay Fest. And we're looking at, well, we kind of want to expand it, but the financial risk, all of the risks are just a little bit piled against us. When you guys grew your festivals, what was the main things that you kept in your mind?
I mean, is it indoors or outdoors?
Indoors.
It's not a festival.
No.
4 months. 4 months I've been waiting to say that to you.
It's not even that. He stole that joke from his pal Miles. Because every time Miles gets drunk, it's not a festival, it's an all-dayer.
I didn't mean that, sorry. I think basically my attitude to festivals is if you book them, they will come. So if you want more people to come, you have to book bigger bands. And at some point you have to take the risk that I'm going to try and book those bigger bands and then more people will come. It's basically like, if we wanted to double the size of 2000trees, we don't, but there is only one way to do it, and that would be to book bigger bands. And it's a massive risk, because if the same number of people come and you've gone big, it's, it's game over. So
it's called Damnation 2023. So I would take James's advice, and also I don't get reckless with it though. You do. It's weird when you do these events, because you need to go risky enough that you stand out from every other event. It's not just a case of, Skindred or one of these bands you just see everywhere. So you need to do something different, but at the same time, you don't get too reckless that you go and shell out 50 grand in a band and you still only get the same 1,000 people, and then you're selling your house, you know what I mean? So, but also, there is a fan base there. There's nothing more niche really in the metal scene than Damnation. I mean, we're putting on bands that play to 200-300 people in a room that takes 6,000. You know what I mean? So there is a fan base there if you do it right. But then I'm maybe not the guy to tell you how to do it right. You know.
No, but you're totally right about. We've spoken about this a bunch, but doing something different. So my advice is don't look at Damnation and be like, I'm going to do a small version of Damnation. Be like, what music do I like? I'm going to book something that no one else is doing, something slightly different, rather than going, I just want to be 2000trees. I'm just going to book the lower down bands at Trees and copy it. I just don't think that that's going to ever be that successful. So trying to do something a bit different.
Yeah. Spot on. Cheers, boys.
Cheers, mate.
Who's next?
How are we, Daniel?
Oh,
you got your jacket back for Don Bronco last night?
Yes.
Was it Don Bronco, the Boston Manor?
Yeah. Just two quick ones, more for James.
Oh, thanks.
No, they're just trees questions I've got from this year. So, with the merch, it doesn't have the entire lineup on the back. Like, what's the decision behind that? Like,
Well, my brother Rob deals with it, and he's actually going to answer that question in a second, because he's going to ask the next question. I think it's because it gets too small, right, Rob? If you put every single band on, is that the reason? Yeah. There's like a bloody hell. Andy Ray, everyone. Andy Ray. Answer the question, Rob.
Yeah, it just gets too small.
And now the microphone's in the wrong place. For fuck's sake. Okay. Ask your question. Oh, it's my mum. Hi, Mum.
This is a question for you, James. You've mentioned your musical influences came from Little Angels and who's it? Wild Hearts. And I wondered why you left out Bros and Chris de Burgh.
Getting done with it.
Wow. Wow.
Done by his own mum. Thank you.
It wasn't really a question, was it? So my first ever gig was Bros. Like, and for those of you who are thinking, who the fuck? Bros, amazing. What a band. But yeah. And I've seen Chris de Burgh live. Thanks, Mum.
Behind you, chap here, red hair. Oh, sorry, Rob.
Go on, Rob. Let's hear it, Rob. Rob, come on.
You don't get a sauce, though.
I just quite like to know what the commission agreement is with the merch that are being sold with the merch in the merch stand. Are you taking a commission on your own merch, James? And
Yes, James.
and cutting Gav out?
He's rarely funny, but that is good, right?
James is like, we've got merch.
This is really confusing. I don't actually even know the answer to that question. But yeah, 10% from, so 5% from you comes to me. Yeah, great, good. Is that okay?
Aye, I love it.
He actually, Rob actually said to me, and he's just asked a funny question. He asked me that seriously about a week ago. Like, he was having a properly like, what are you doing
The
here?
businessman of the family. Apparently the merch is selling pretty well. Appreciate everyone who's wearing it. It's still, especially you. I think there's still t-shirts left and there's some towels left, so please go down and support it. James's festivals sell tickets, so he gets an income. Mine's don't. So I'm hoping to make something for this podcast. If you can go and buy the merch, please, I can feed my children. Who's up? Who's next?
Are we ever going to get Dodgems at 2000trees?
Did we have Dodgems one year? It was terrible. It was so... Did we not have Dodgems? It was just a Ferris wheel, was it? No, the answer is no. Fairgrounds at festivals are the worst ideas in the world ever. And I'm sorry, that's just my personal opinion. But and we made a mistake one year that we're going to blame on Andy. Yeah. The microphone's going that way, I think.
First time trees, long time damnation and arctangent. So, question for James really. Having seen Spanish love songs in the Forest stage for the first time ever, they're amazing. Would you ever consider doing something like that for arctangent? Something acoustic, something for a band to show off what else they can do?
Maybe. It wouldn't be outdoors at Arctangent though, would it? I don't think. Because it rains all the time, every time. But I think we're trying... It feels like totally different festivals to me. So when I'm like curating trees, it's like you're not trying to just force people to run around between bands. It's more of like an experience. Whereas Arctangent is just like band. And so I don't really know if a sort of chilled space would work. Having said that, the Elephant stage at Arctangent is supposed to be something totally different. And in fact, we were watching Meryl Streep earlier on. And I was thinking, that would work at Arctangent in that tent. It's like, so just something different. But it's still in a, I mean, there's absolutely no way we would ever do something outdoors. Because it's just not a joke, is it? It's going to fucking rain. So, yeah.
I'm not trying to maim anybody here, but he's getting further away, okay?
Who's next on the questions? You can go back that way. Go behind you. There you go.
Question for James. You left something hanging a few weeks ago on the pod. Would now be a good time to tell the story about how you almost killed everybody?
Okay, let's do it. Rob, you do this when I go too far, okay? You're in charge. So... Oh, fucking hell. I'm going to tell it. So, once upon a time, a headliner arrived. You know, I said this morning I wasn't woken up by Gaslight Anthem. They were already dealing with it. Well, back in the day, I used to be the one who got woken up first for headliners coming in. And a band came in a tour bus, towing a massive trailer behind it. The trailer's like the size of a caravan, and it's full of like amps and drums and stuff. And the artist liaison team, Sarah, hadn't got up. So I was woken up, and they were... is Sarah still here? No. Good. I got scared then for a second. The artist liaison team hadn't woken up, so I got up to deal with it, and basically the tour bus got to the top of the hill behind me, and the bus driver said, "Where can I unload this trailer?" And I was like, "You can unload it there." And it was 7 a.m. I was really tired, probably a little bit hungover. And I was just staring at my feet as he unloaded the trailer. And then I was aware of something coming across my vision. and I looked up, and the trailer was rolling really slowly past my eyes. So I naturally just reached out to grab it, but it's like the heaviest thing in the world. It's hard to imagine something really heavy moving really slow. Yep. So you can't stop it. There's absolutely no stopping it. And it fucking headed down the fucking hill. And like anyone who's in backstage camping, it headed down your hill, basically. It was coming down the hill. And by so because it was going slow, but it picked up speed. So eventually, there's 4 of us, like a security guard, the bus driver, the tour manager, and me, running alongside the trailer. But there's nothing you can do to stop it. So you're just like it's like a 3/4 sprint alongside the trailer. And I kind of looked up, and there's just a field full of fucking tents. And you know when a plane crashes, it takes up loads of grass or whatever, and it slowly comes to a stop. As it got to the field, I can't believe I'm telling this story. Should I not have told this story?
Too late now.
And basically, well, look, nothing bad happened because it did the plane crash thing, and the grass came up, and the trailer stopped. And honestly, it's the closest like near-death experience I've ever had anywhere, and it ruined my entire festival. Anyone that spoke to me for the whole festival, I was like, "You're not going to believe what just happened." And it was basically I just went around telling everyone, and it was so yeah. I mean, I don't know. But Rob Safety, who's our health and safety guy. If you see a guy in a red hat, that's Rob Safety. Say hello to him. He basically said to me, if that had gone in that field, your festival would have been over forever.
But why?
So,
why did it get detached? Why did it come away from the mess? Why did it come away from the
well,
bus?
no, so then there was a whole inquest into why that happened, and it was because the bus driver was blaming the brake on the trailer, and everyone else was like, the bus driver didn't put the brake on the trailer. There's people just side of stage here looking at me like they were there, and they're like, "Is this true?" It's true.
3 of them running beside the trailer.
So that's definitely 100% the most scary thing that's ever happened to me in festival land.
Jesus, you're getting further away. Bring the mic forward. Hey, just pass this one back, would you? Okay, I'm watching.
You'll tell us when we're finished.
Hey, hit us up. Who's next?
Anyone listening on Spotify now is being like, for fuck's sake, this is fucking slow.
Does someone have the mic? Is it dead?
Go, go, go. Oh, the mic's broken, guys. Try again. Yeah.
There you go.
Who would be your
upside
dream?
down.
Oh, sorry. Who would be your dream guest to have on your podcast?
Ooh.
I mean,
Liz Bruce's Manchester City top on, just to wind up James. Oh man, that's a fantastic.
We asked Simon Neil to come on, didn't we? And he said no. He didn't say no. His people said no. So I would love to interview Simon from Biffy. That'd be amazing. But I keep talking about it, but I really want to get Danny from Cradle of Filth on before Damnation, because for anyone who wasn't around in the 90s, they were fucking wild, and it was early 2000s. It was controversial as fuck, and I think and he is like a proper gobshite, isn't he?
Aye.
And I think it would be scary, but also I don't know.
I know, but I think Danny could happen. Danny could happen. I've interviewed a lot of bands in my previous podcast, and it's not that exciting. The ones that I like better are the other promoters or agents or managers. I'd really like to have someone on like a guy like Paul Ryan that's got Bring Me Horizon, Architects, Trivium, that sort of, and have a chat that, or even the festival, the hardcore festival, Outbreak. I mean, I know it's not a glamour guest, but they're a festival that kind of operates without telling anyone anything, so you would get a lot of information about, why was the stage outdoors and no one knew. So, that'd be a fun guest.
I mean, if there's anyone, people should tell us who they want to see. We just chatted to the guy from Gallows, and he's up for it. I know James from Rolo Tomasi is out there, and he's already agreed to come on. Hi, James. So yeah, we've got a bunch of people lined up that we want to talk to. So yeah.
Rob Flynn is the answer.
Yes, Rob Flynn from Machine Head. Fucking hell. What's your favourite Machine Head album, Rob? That'll be good.
Even Rob Flynn doesn't listen to Blackening, so we got over here. On you go, sir.
Hi. You've changed, Scarlett. I did something on these stages for about 15 years, and you never bought me a chair, so don't complain about chairs. How dare you?
Yes.
Bales.
Hay bales are way easier to sit on than this, mate.
I'll have one of those. And somewhere up in the barn or in the back of one of your lorries, there are 2 high stools that I brought in about 2011. So if you ever find those,
We stole them, did we? We stole them.
Probably, yeah. My question, this was interesting. I was stood in a queue for coffee this morning, and I met a guy who's come to his first trees ever. And he said to me, how on earth does a festival like 2000 Trees keep tickets so cheap when you have to go and pay the same amount to go to Slam Dunk for one day?
Good. Rich ran BBC Introducing in the West for 15 years. If you're wondering why the eloquence levels have just shot through the roof in the questioning, it's like, oh, that's good. Good question. I mean, look, we talk about this a bunch on the pod. The margins are tight, they're really tight. So, kind of making up numbers, but if you sell 10,000 tickets, let's say if you sell 12,000 tickets, you break even. If you sell 14,000 tickets, you make loads of money. If you sell 10,000, you're in the shit, basically. So the difference between 12 and 14,000 doesn't really feel like that much. So keeping ticket prices low means that is it's really you never really know every year. It's just you're banking on it. I mean, my one advice to outdoor festival organisers is you have to cut corners. So you can't actually do everything you want to do because you just can't afford it. So there's lots of corners being cut. Having said that, on Wednesday morning this week, when we talked about how wet it was, on Wednesday morning when I woke up, and usually I would just be like, yay, festival's open, let's go. I got up and I was on the phone to a trackway company being like, I need another 200 track mats now. And if you're a trackway company, you're sitting at home going, yes, you do. You could have ordered them in advance for this price, and now you're going to pay this price.
And what was the price?
Well, we spent like $5,000 on Wednesday morning, just gone, in a blind panic.
You thought your coffee was expensive?
It's either first aider gone or the $5,000 is gone. So
exactly. It was needed. Thank you. I'm going to take somebody's eye out at this point, isn't I? There you go. So.
Who's next?
Oi. So, Gav, I've only met you once before, and the year was 2005, and we spent most of the night keeping a band called 4-Way Killer Wake at a Bloodstock Festival. So if I had a DeLorean parked in the car park now, because this was before the first Damnation Festival, and same for you, James, before the first 2000 Trees Festival, if I could tell you one thing about your festivals back before they even started, what would the one thing be that you wanted to change, the one bit of advice you'd want before the festival even started?
I mean, it's 100% set up your site, plan your site to assume that it's going to be wet. And I actually think that this week, this is like a 2000 Trees debrief now, so the organisers, I think they're all here. Basically, I think we got slightly lulled into a false sense of security that 2000 Trees would always be sunny. And 5 days ago, when it had rained for 3 days, it was like, oh, okay, first aid can't go there. And so my advice, and what I would tell myself, and I thought we already knew this, is prepare for wet weather. But you can never really prepare for wet weather enough. It's just that is it. Wet weather will fuck your outdoor festival. It is the worst thing that can happen. So, yeah, that's mine.
Yeah, I would. I suppose when everybody starts everything, there's that sense of imposter syndrome, and definitely in something as murky as the music industry. And the reason why this podcast has worked is because we're having conversations that no one else is having, even as boring as tills, people are listening. So, I said to myself back then, there's no secret. You're not going to pull back a curtain and be impressed by anything. There's no one further up the ladder who's doing anything any more special, and just believe in what you're going out to do. Because that first Damnation 2005, you always feel like it's just, you're a chancer. But ultimately, you got to wait. Metallica, their tour manager's a chancer. You know what I mean? It's it's not personally just that guy, in case he's in the room. But it's just believe in yourself. That's what I told myself if we were sitting having that conversation before we kill.
Next.
Right, we've got one more, and then he's going to tell us his dream headliners for next year.
A bit of a dumb one question, but with ATG this year, was there any temptation to call it ARC 10 Gen instead of ARC 10?
Yeah, no, I think the conversations were had, but it's, the branding team dropped the elbow on that in the end. We got time for one more question?
I we could do one more.
We've got to overrun, right? Do you want to ask a question? Give Tamsin the microphone.
James, I've got a little apple for you here, darling. Chief?
Has someone given Redders the microphone? I recognise that voice.
Got an apple? Do you want to explain to your mum?
No more niche podcast jokes. Go on, Tamsin, let's hear your question.
Just to end on a cheesy... Sorry about the voice. Just to end on a cheesy question, both of you, for each of your festivals, give us your proudest moment, the one that you will always remember. Oh my God.
The proudest moment that we'll always remember.
I mean, my thing, I'll give you a cheesy answer to a cheesy question. I mean, my thing is always like yesterday, Wednesday morning, that is yesterday, right? It's basically, there's a bunch of people that worked for us for the last week. A lot of them are volunteers, and they just come and they drink beers with us every night. And my proudest thing every year is just when we get to the point where it's like the festival's open, and all those people look a little bit broken but a little bit happy, and we try really hard to thank them all, but you can never really say thank you enough. We've got like the best set up community of people. And they come every year, and some of them you're like, mate, do you want to go and the marquee tent pegs out? Can you do that? And they've done it for 5 years previous, and it's a shit job, and everyone's just like, I don't mean you, I don't mean you did a shit job, but they're just this year, particularly at Trees this year, we had a lot of people that have been a lot of years, and I'm just like, what? I love them all. It's quite hard to convey it, but they're fucking great.
It's a big softie. Yeah, I don't have anything quite as emotional, but the first year when you do it, it's difficult. I was 23 at the time, and it happens, and then you you just can't believe it has happened, and I'll always be proud of that. But the year 2022, when we lost our headliner 6 weeks out and managed to rebuild the lineup with what we had and then sell more tickets, was a year that I realised I could probably do this as a full-time job. So I'll go with that. And one more. Right, we're going to wrap this up with Lou's Brews, Pod 50. Rinse him for his sauces. Thank you so much to Lou for
He's in a Man City t-shirt and he's done it to piss me off, the bastard.
So I appreciate the support from Lou, even when he had no idea if anyone would listen at all. Now we've got plenty of sponsors who want to get involved, but the big man had our back from the start. We appreciate it. Pod 15. Thank you so much to everyone who came out. We're going to round this off with James telling you his 3 dream headliners for next year's 2000trees.
Fucking hell. Biffy Clyro, Deftones, Alexis on Fire. I should have gone a bit. That's a really old band, isn't it? Sleep Token. There you go.